often think about why it is I hunt, and it's probably one of the more difficult answers to give. It's very much like when somebody asks you, do you like vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? And if you answer chocolate, the answer is why. It's almost indescribable. You know, the reason I hunt, there's many benefits to it, but the reason I hunt is it's in my DNA. Every strand of my body makes me a hunter.
Like if somebody said to you, you hunt just because you want to go kill that animal. We know that's not true.
No, it's not even remotely true. If you get down to the point where you say, I just want to kill an animal, I could do that here at the ranch, I could do that anywhere. It's not a function of just going out and killing. I'm not a killer, I'm a hunter, and there's a big difference between the two. I can't tell you how many animals I've passed on for a myriad of reasons. He's not old enough, he's in the prime of his life, or she's in the prime of her life, because I think it's equally important to hunt the female of the species to keep the numbers in balance. But to say that I would just go out and just go kill an animal would really make me question why it is I would fly all over the world just to kill something. It's not that. For me, it's more of almost a tour de force to go out and be part of the culture, be part of the community that I'm in, to understand the animal I'm hunting, to make certain that I'm taking something that's will normally be off-take anyway, because they're typically of an age structure that they're going to die in the near future in any event. So here I create value for the community, and they get the meat source as well. I'm not just going to kill something, it's not cliche to say it either. I'm going to add value to the animal. And the value add, if you will, is my willingness to seek the adventure in hunting the animal, not killing it, but in hunting it, will directly benefit people who don't have another source of income. And they have the source of meat, but if they didn't have the source of income to go with it, what would stop them from merely annihilating the herds to feed their family? As I would too if my family was wholly dependent on meat and I had no source of income. I would see the meat as nothing more than my grocery store. They see it as the bank, not necessarily as the grocery store. And so I'm investing in their communities as they're making similar investments in their community, in the sense that they exercise discipline and not wiping out vast herds of animals. There's many times I've sat on a mountain and said, why am I here, and why do I put myself through the pain? Because at my age, getting up and down those mountains is not easy. I think the reason for it in large part is purpose. I'm a very purpose-driven individual, and the pursuit of difficult prey in difficult environments gives hunting a different view from purely sustenance to also a goal, if you will, that tries to make me a better person simply by planning it, executing it, not quitting when I really want to quit. Because I can tell you there are many days, I live at 57 feet of altitude, and so when you're in the Hindu Kush and you're at 14,000 feet, it's painful. And again, why am I doing this? It's to prove to myself that I can physically do it and mentally do it. And I think the mental component is the most difficult. And then to be able to do it in a fashion that still permits me to make an ethical shot, to make an ethical kill. It's almost indescribable to talk about the feeling of pride you get by having all those things come together and then having not quit, because it's really easy to quit. You know, the harvesting of an animal is an interesting component to the hunt. It's almost antithetical to the hunt. And I'll explain that in the sense that typically you plan one of these trips or a safari, or, you know, even on a lesser level, you know, a young boy who wants to go on his first deer hunt. You've planned it, you've thought about it, you've dreamt it, you've climbed, you've put in the time. And it's that whole process, if you will, of the anticipation, the planning, the practice, and what have you. And ultimately, when you have the prey in your sight line and you have the nerves take over and, you know, the reticles are dancing with every breath, and you have to calm down and settle yourself and collect yourself well enough to execute the shot. Once all of that comes together, there's a great degree of melancholy that comes with it, and melancholy in a couple of different ways. One, you've taken the life of an animal, and I never take that for granted. I try to show, and I actually do feel a great deal of empathy for them. So hopefully it's been a quick and humane kill. So in that regard, you have a degree of melancholy, and then you also have a degree of melancholy in the sense that all the planning and everything is over. And you know, I try not to in that point say, oh, well, that hunt's over, and start thinking about the next one. I want to live in that moment. I want to relish the accomplishment and the full cycle of planning the trip, to preparing for the trip, to ultimately executing the trip, and then making certain all along the way I live in the moment, trying to take in the cultures and the food and the sights. You know, it's very hard to explain to people who've never been outside their element the breadth of being able to take your passion and transport it in many other parts of the world, and to get off a plane or get off a truck after driving for 12 hours and know that you immediately speak the language of people who don't speak your vocal language. They speak your cultural language. They're hunters. My name is Mike Axelrad. I'm a hunter, a husband, and a conservationist. Everyone has their own story. This is mine. It's in the blood.
Mike, on you, brother. Nice job, Mike. Great start.
Good, because I started thinking about it.